Hello students, I welcome you all in the class of English language, chapter number 18, that is conditionals and types of conditional sentences. So students, what is conditional? A condition is something that has to be fulfilled before something else can happen. Like thus, conditional sentences are sentences in which one of the clauses lays down the condition for the action mentioned in the second clause. So students, conditional synonyms if, then a statement and then material conditional would be there. Now students, there are different types of conditional sentences and 4 types are there. First is type 0 conditional, then type 1 conditional, then type 2 conditional sentences, and the last is type 3 conditional sentence. So now come to the first conditional sentence. So students, you can see structure, usage and examples of the first conditional. So we use type 1 conditional to describe conditions that may or may not be fulfilled. The type 1 if clause expresses an open condition or possibility. It means something which is likely to happen. If you can see the form of this, if clause is in a present simple tense, while the result clause is in future simple tense. In simple present, we follow clause will in present simple form, and in future simple, we follow the clause will in a verb in base form. So now see the example. If I don't study, I will fail the test. So here if we see, if I don't study, it's a clause and then it is present simple. And we see, and the result clause is I will fail the test, that is future simple. So if the if clause comes first in the sentence, we put comma after it, and if it is at the end of the sentence, comma is not needed. So if we see the example here, it is if I don't study, I will fail the test. So how we can write it? We are using if I don't study. So here it is, you can see I will fail the test if I don't study. So here the comma is not there. So that's why it is written that if it is at the end of the sentence, a comma is not needed. So if I attend the party, comma, my wife will get angry. If clauses, if I attend the party. And result clause or main clauses, my wife will get angry. Now see the clause and result clause. So here if she is free this weekend, she will go with us. If Brian pays me today, I will buy something for Amy's birthday. If he tops the test, his father will buy him a new skateboard. If I have enough time, I will write a letter for my cousin. Now, if she joins the contest, she will have 75% chance of winning. Now come to the second conditional. We use type 2 conditional to express an imaginary situation in the if clause and think about its imaginary consequence in the main clause. Though past tense is used, the reference is not to the past time. So type 2 conditionals often state the impossible. Form is if plus past tense plus would plus conditional. Like the first conditional, second conditional has 2 clauses. If clause and result clause, or you can say main clause. So if we see the examples of this, in if clause, see the example if plus verb simple past. So here verb is simple past. And if we see the main clause here, would plus verb is base form. See the example, if I were rich, I would travel around the world. So in this, the current situation of the speaker is far from the reality, because here he is not rich but he is thinking. So if clause, it is if I were rich, and it is simple past, if plus simple past. And in result clause, it is I would travel around the world. So here it is would plus base form. So if the if clause comes first in the sentence, we put a comma after it, and if it comes at the end, then a comma is not necessary. See, if I were rich, comma, I would travel around the world. And if we see the next one, then it is I would travel around the world if I were rich. Now see the next, if I were you, comma, I would buy a car. If she were a boy, she would be a carpenter. So in this, we have to notice that we used were even though the subject is singular. Like example, if I were you, I would buy a car. So here we used were. In next, if she were a boy, she would be a carpenter. Here also we had used were. So this is because were can be used for all persons in the if clause, or we can say he were, I were, etc. If I had a younger sister, I would love her so much. Second, if I had enough money, I would study in a culinary school. See some of the examples where there is if clause, mean clause and result clause. Now come to the third conditional. So third conditional talks about the past. So it is to express a condition that was not fulfilled in the past. The condition cannot be fulfilled because the main clause refers to an action that has already occurred. So the third conditional is used for actions that are impossible to happen. And here form is if plus past perfect plus would, should, could, might have. So again there are still two clauses when we make a third conditional sentence. We have the if clause and the result clause. See if clause, if plus past perfect, result clause would plus have plus verb in past participle. Now see the next one. Example, if he had been contented with his job, he would have stayed. Now here if clauses, if he had been contented with his job, if plus past perfect, and result clauses, he would have stayed, would plus have plus past participle. Now see the next one. If I had seen her, I would have told her to call you. Second is if I had studied, I would have passed the test. Third is if Lucy hadn't moved to another city, we would have been friends. Now see some of the examples with these given sentences. Now come to the zero conditional. With zero conditional, we see that we use type zero conditional to describe general truths and scientific facts. One thing follows another automatically. Its form is if plus simple present plus simple present. Like if you eat more fruits and vegetables, you get healthier. So if clause is if you eat more fruits and vegetables, it is simple present, and its result clauses you get healthier, that is also simple present, means simple present plus simple present. See how we will change it in another way. You get healthier if you eat more fruits and vegetables. So here we have taken it first, you get healthier. See another examples. If there is no oxygen, living things die. See the second example, and that is if employee don't do their job well, they get fired. Now see the another examples with if clause, result clause, and then answer. Now here our conditionals is completed. In this we have read about type 0 conditional, type 1 conditional, type 2 conditional, and type 3 conditional. Now students, see the conversation of these conditionals.
I'm really enjoying this movie.
Same here. If I stay up too late, I won't be able to sleep tonight.
If I was a superhero, my superpower would be incredible speed.
Why would you want that?
Because I would be able to get everything done quickly.
If you were productive, you would get things done quicker.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Mine would be to eat as much food as I want without gaining weight.
You don't need a superpower for that. If you exercise, you will lose weight.
I don't have any motivation to exercise. If I don't lose weight, I'll be miserable.
You're not fat. If you want to be in good shape, exercise frequently. Join the gym with me.
That's a great idea. When I exercise, I feel happier.
If I were you, I'd go to the gym at least 3 times a week.
If I can wake up early enough every morning, I'll go 3 times a week.
Okay, that's fine. But if you're not consistent, then you won't see any results.
I'll try my best to go every week. If I wasn't working all week, I'd have more time to go.
You should stop working so much. You're always so tired.
How would we afford to pay the bills if I don't work?
I'll get a job as soon as I find something I like.
You will find a job if you search harder. You're being so lazy.
I wouldn't be so harsh if I were you. You could lose your job anytime.
I'm not being harsh. If I don't try to encourage you, you'll just carry on sitting at home all day.
If I had gone to a better university, it would have been easier to find a good job.
To be honest, you would have gotten the last job if you had prepared for the interview.
You're right. If I start searching for jobs now, I'll... When I eat popcorn, it makes me so thirsty. We've eaten way too much.
If you eat too much, you'll feel sick.
True. If I eat too much now, I'll regret it tomorrow.
Hey, let's clean up. If you clean the floor, I'll...
So students, here your conditional chapter is completed, and now you have seen the conversation of different types of conditional sentences. Now students, it's time to do your exercises of the chapter. So we will meet in next chapter. Till then, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you students. Bye bye.